Well, I'm doing some final thinking, and I was just thinking about the times that Fat Tuesday or Mardi Gras has been canceled, and there were 14 times where not necessarily all parades were canceled for all the crews, but portions of them, and they all involve these major events in history. You know, the Korean War, the 1979, the what do you call it? World War II, World War I, the Spanish flu. You know, the Civil War. Each time Mardi Gras got canceled, there was an inflection point in history where there were these, you know, essentially like an awful event that happened, and when you understand the importance of the belief of the individuals that participate in Mardi Gras, like, I mean, the whole essence is 40 days before Easter, you know, so you can't have Mardi Gras without Jesus Christ. Kind of gave that to us. And when you see that Mardi Gras' first float, its first crew, its theme was from John Milton's Paradise Lost, which tells the story of the fall of Adam and Eve from the garden and original sin. And when you understand that each of those events in history reflect times where mankind swayed into, how do I say this? A lot of us are sinning at that time, more so than typical. So the response was the First World War, World War II.
That's my guess.
That's not a guess, though. That's the thing. And the reason it's not a guess is because you can look at history and see each of the times that these were almost canceled or were canceled completely. That makes sense. And you really begin to understand when you think about, when you look at the characters in Paradise Lost, you see Michael, the great prince who stands up. You see Satan, God the Father, the Son, Adam, Eve, etc., etc. It's just a fantastic, it's an interesting exercise, because what it says is, when you look at the story here and the events that lead to the cancellation of 2021's Mardi Gras, you know, due to COVID, and, you know, there was also even that last minute freeze. Wow. And you tack on all the other stuff. Sonny and Esther, Mashiach and Esther, and Torah. Necessary components to bring about a messianic era. I don't know. I think it's really an incredible exercise. You get checkpoints throughout history to check out. Anyway, so I'm thinking about Paradise Lost today, as the I think it was like the Mystic Crew or something like that back in 1857. That was their first theme. Essentially, the Book of Revelation's protagonists are the ones that are retold through a sequence of events using children who were actually conceived in New Orleans, who've, you know, spent a great deal of time here. One of whom it was here during Hurricane Katrina, I believe. I think it was during Katrina. Maybe post Katrina, but still living here. But anyway, they almost shut it down then, but they didn't, because you know, it was Mardi Gras was not until February, and Katrina happened, I believe it was in August or something like that. The idea is, because his story didn't wind up back here in New Orleans at the at Sonny and Esther's place, or the Royal Sonesta, reporting on the cancellation of Mardi Gras while he was at that hotel. Because there wasn't a cancellation, he wasn't at the hotel, so there wasn't a cancellation, so Katrina didn't end Mardi Gras, and thus, there wasn't the reason for him to look at history, at why Mardi Gras was canceled in the past, and notice that, oh, I'm at the Royal Sonesta, named for Sonny and Esther, Son of God, and Queen Esther. And they canceled Mardi Gras, and the first time that happened, the first Mardi Gras that ever occurred was inspired by Milton's Paradise Lost. This is retelling the Adam and Eve story. So what God the Father is really saying here is the Adam and Eve story retold is the second coming of Christ with his Queen Esther. And this does not matter because Esther gets free will. It does not matter at all what her free will dictates on earth, because in heaven she's Queen Esther regardless. And the Adam and Eve story, this is where it gets cool, is it's the return of Eve, really, is what we're looking at. The second coming of Eve. And what it says is that that's my homie. I hook him up, and he needs something now, and I'm on the warrant. What it says is Eve, who travels the entire world, eats all the food, goes to the different locations, the different sites, the different tours, and realizes she isn't happy. She's still not happy or euphoric like in the garden. Of course, she doesn't know what the garden is because she's never been there. But the second coming of Eve, what that means is it's a documented relationship that's designed to, I don't know, how do you say it? Not from the very beginning, because the Adam and Eve character, or the son and the Esther character, I think the idea is, or I know the idea is take everything you know about relationships, everything you know about free will, everything from your past experiences with the opposite sex, and compare it against, this Adam and Eve connect, which occurs not via free will necessarily. I mean, everything occurs via free will, but it occurs by chance. It's just a series of chance coincidences. And it all points to say, hey guys, go compare what you have, moving forward. If you could ever get a clean slate mentally and forget about any shit that happened before, think about all your past relationships and compare them in every fucking category. Looks, fucking how pretty someone's dick is, or how much you like to go down on the other, on how much Adam likes to go down on Eve, how much Eve likes that, conversations that are had, texting, how does that rank in terms of, word usage, musical taste, traveling, all those categories that, we judge the opposite sex on, or even the same sex if you're gay. And the idea is if you choose your partner, via free will, versus if you're led to your partner by coincidence, you're going to find wildly different results. And in the garden, you're only guided to that person by that set of coincidences. The trail that winds every which way, or is guarded every which way by a flaming sword, is how Moses referred to it. So that's basically it. And I don't know, I really dig the ending of this story. So there it is. I guess it's a hat tip to Milton. Even though Milton, he popped up earlier, but he got dinged out over Dante. Dante is more, I don't know, he ranks higher in the heaven system than Milton. But really, what we're looking at with Milton, or we're looking at with other people who've retold or attempted to retell the the creation story slash the the Garden of Eden original sin story is that they were writing down fiction, whereas the second coming of Eve and the second coming of whatever Adam, if you want to say it, or probably much more, probably like the eighth coming of Adam really at this point, but that's actually based on true events. So that's what I got here on this fine Saturday after Fat Tuesday. That's great. Think about these things.